The last class I introduced about the program and I introduced something why cloud computing born. What the reason before cloud computing, what were the challenges we were facing. And we got an idea that the technology, how it's evolved and who did this and which year, which location, and about history, little bit about your Amazon, how many clients they are having and how many services they are having and how many regions they are holding right now. We have done up to some kind of basic kind of terminology on cloud computing. So I'm just continuing with my other things, like basically I'm going to go forward. Deployment model, I said, private, public, community, and all those things. Now I want to continue with service model. Am I right? Good evening, everyone. Am I audible? Are you able to see my screen? That's very important. First confirmation. Good evening. Are you able to see my screen? Yeah. Are you able to see my screen? Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, as I said, service model. In cloud, deployment model we had studied about, there are four deployment model. You have a choice. You can make it private or you can make it public. Or you can have a hybrid cloud also. Now what it means by cloud service model, I'm not talking about Amazon, I'm not talking about Google, Azure. I'm talking about general terminology of cloud computing. In cloud computing, there's a service model that means cloud provider who's providing the services to the customers, they are into three categories. The services what they are providing. The first category they says that IaaS, infrastructure as a service, where customer will get full power or control, you can say full control over operating system. So now if a customer get full control over operating system, the customer can do any customization on the operating system. They can install customized application, their own application, they can configure their own way. So that's the facility of the service offered by cloud computing provider, that is called IaaS. Underlying infrastructure maintained by provider. That means Amazon example maintaining internet, networking, power supply, servers, storage, they are maintaining. And if you want to maintain, if you want to update, that means here 40% is maintained by the cloud provider, 60% maintained by the managed by customer. So now what you have to maintain, the service what you're using. Example, if you're using a computing service, that means which need to be taken care about operating system updates, upgrades, patching, installing required software, removing the software, giving some permissions, doing the backups. This all responsibility is going to be done by what? Customer. That's why this IaaS we say self-managed service. You can say self-managed. So make a note that in cloud there will be a kind of two types of service provided by provider, is going to be managed service or self-managed. That means IaaS model, it comes under self-managed because provider will give you full control over operating system. You can have your own customized application, you can install anything, you can download, you can install anything, but you have to do what? Updating, upgrading, patching the operating system, installing the software, removing, updating the software. You have to do your own. That is self-managed. but you have a choice and you have a kind of flexibility that you can have your own operating applications. So example of Amazon. Amazon is offering a lot of services, 200 plus services. Among that, I'm giving example of what? EC2. EC2 is a service of Amazon which pronounced which going to be abbreviated as a word Elastic Compute Cloud. So now we got understanding this. IaaS, who use this? Which company, which type of companies is going to prefer this? Mostly multinational company. That's wonderful. Multinational company will prefer. Example, I can say about TCS, Tata Consultancy Service, or you have a Cognizant, or you have a, some kind of, you can say Google. If anyone want, like the company is a multinational company, is an enterprise and corporate company where they have a multiple branches and they have a big size. That means the size of the company is big. Hundreds and thousands of people are working here. Now, if they want, like they are getting some projects. Example, I'll say that which company, multinational company, we say service-based company, service-based company, and a product-based company. The companies, IT companies can be two types: service-based company and product-based company. Always be ready with the pen paper. Service-based company and product-based. Microsoft is a what? Product-based company. They're selling their own product, operating system, database software, .NET application, MS Office. They have a lot of products. And Google is what? Product-based company. They have their own search engine. So they're selling what? Search engine. They're working on sales engine. Where Facebook is a product-based company, it's not service-based company. TCS does not have its own product, but they're giving service to the customers. A customer want to set up their infrastructure, TCS is going to support. Customer want to have a client want to look out for software development, then software development will be done by TCS. But they are not having their own product. They are developing the product for someone. This type of company we call what? Service-based company. Remember this point. In a multinational company, you'll find what? A product-based company and service-based. So right now, we talk about what? Which company use preferred IaaS. So it's a service-based company like TCS and Cognizant because they are getting different project and they have to do their customization according to command or requirement of the customer. They have to install their own customized application. They have to do according to the project requirement. So that's why this type of company mostly use what? IaaS. Example I have given. Service name is called EC2. Next, we have a what model? Platform as a service. Only P and I difference. Platform as a service means Amazon saying that it's company which is startup company which does not have a budget to hire a lot of IT engineers to maintain their infrastructure. The customer wanted the infrastructure platform should be maintained by the provider, and they want to just upload their code and they want to run the code and they want to test the code, they want to use the access the application. If they want to do this, what they have to do? Amazon saying that the service PaaS solution service, which is basically infrastructure, network, server, storage, plus operating system, plus application, maybe Java or you have Oracle, we have a .NET, we have a SAP, whatever it may be. It is ready to install, ready with installation, just ready to use it. And on top of the operating system and application, Java or Python or SAP, if I want to run some code, Java code or Python code, so now the code should be taken care by customer. That means they don't bother about the infrastructure. Operating system application will be maintained by Amazon. Don't worry. Only the customer has to bother about the code. So that makes sense that the PaaS solution does not give the access of operating system, but there's a kind of benefit for the startup companies who want what, who want to concentrate more on business, not on infrastructure. Such that's why a PaaS solution is offered to the customer. The PaaS solution we say what managed service. It's not self-managed. It is what managed service. That means the service which is managed by Amazon, where AWS team manage underlying infrastructure, network, storage, operating system, update, upgrades, backup, application updates. They'll do everything. You do not need to bother about Oracle, SAP. Everything will be ready for you, and they'll maintain. And as a managed service, startup companies can provide this solution. They want to pick up some kind of services, some kind of PaaS services of Amazon, which offers ready to use services. So 90% managed by AWS and 10% you have to bother about what, and customer should manage what, source code and backup, upgrade, sorry, backup and security. So these are the things to be managed by like here the customer. Example, which service offered by Amazon? Amazon saying that we are operating a service called RDS, Relational Database Service. Now, one more, the third service model, they're saying SaaS, Software as a Service, means the software as a service, you can say Microsoft Office 365. So, Office 365, Google Drive, WhatsApp, and you have a Ola or you have a Rapido, Misho. These all are SaaS application. Software as a service where developed software application ready to use and fully managed by vendors. So now this is basically a software, a service where developed software apps ready to use and fully managed by vendor or provider. But what about other kind of programs? Office 365, Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Salesforce, Facebook, WhatsApp. This all software, web application softwares are basically what? Basically kind of like here, you can see here, just a minute. Someone want to join? Okay, done. So now Office 365 is the example of SaaS application. Example, as I said, SaaS is a basically application for end users. For end users. Now I'm not running any IT company. So now they'll go for other companies who can take the purchase of that word serious. So now the softwares of Office 365, Zoom, and Microsoft Team, Salesforce, Facebook, WhatsApp, these are all maintained by what application, web server, and only customer has to manage what backups and monitoring. Only that. I hope it's clear. Is it clear now? Am I audible to everyone? Hello. Next is what? Global infrastructure of Amazon. That means globally, globally Amazon doing a work for them. Basically, I can say that Amazon saying what? Amazon saying we are available in 32 regions. We are available in what? 32 regions. And Amazon saying that you can have, you can select any regions and you can start your work. Now, if I want to do this, if I want to do this work, so I need to understand the global infrastructure of Amazon. As we said, Amazon having how many regions? Right, 32 regions. So now you can see that the region infrastructure. Region is a what? Physical boundary. In US or North Virginia example. In this boundary, what they have done, they have set up data centers, but they have not given a kind of only one building or come like here the premises. They have constructed in the region three buildings. In the three buildings, we are calling as what Amazon is calling us availability zone A, availability zone B, availability zone C. They are saying that these buildings are having what data center. So why they have isolated this data center into different building and having an isolation gaps, and they are connected through a fiber optic lines together. Okay, they are interconnected to each other. So why they have Amazon did this, the data center into split it into multiple buildings. Example, you can see that separate power supply, separate internet, separate power supply, separate internet, separate power supply, separate internet. If something happened to that A, the internet is not working, there is no disturbance to this server. That's why they have given separate supply, separate internet, and they are isolated to each other. They are not in a physical location. If I have all the thousands and millions of servers into one location, and if something happened to the power supply issue or any natural disaster, definitely it affect to the business. That's why Amazon has created multiple zone. In the same example, we can say, I'm a businessman. I have some kind of transaction daily. I'm receiving some money. I'm just sending some money. So I have to do a lot of transaction daily. So if I have only one bank and I like I got an email from the bank that we are not operating today because have some server failure. ATM is not working, phone pay is not working. I'm not able to go to the bank physically also. It's not working, operating. So now, what happened now? That going to be your business going to stop. So what you have to do is, so for a solution, you have to go forward multiple account. You have account A in a bank A, bank B you have account B. So now it's good go forward. If something happened to one bank, you can receive at least some money from other bank. So you may be saving your kind of infrastructure or your bank account or your money by dividing your money, storing money into different banks. That's going to be a like smart idea. Same way they have given separate dedicated power supply, internet supply. So now that is basically for what? High availability, you can say. That is what? High availability. If your data store here or your application running here, Flipkart or something, Misho, is if it is something happened, disaster to this building, fire incident happened, earthquake, it's got, and only out of three server, one server gone, one data center building gone, destroyed. So there is no worry. Application or data is still available on second building. That means quickly you can start your business. There is no delay, long delay. That is the purpose of making multiple asset. So in the same way, what they have done is they have created one more infrastructure called what? Edge locations. Just a minute. Edge location. So this edge location also a kind of data center, but it's not for running the software. It's not for storing the user data. It is for what? Boosting delivery performance. Now, you want that your website should be accessed to the customer very faster. So now we have edge location which can does a good role in a migration process where data or application can be migrated very quickly and it can be delivered the website whoever's typing website from your South Africa, but Mumbai we have a server. It is going to have for South Africa to Mumbai, it's too long. So definitely a latency problem will be generated. Latency means what? Latency is a duration between the requester and the sender. How much duration is going to take? How much time is going to take to read that? So that is called what? Latency. So now we got an idea that what is zone, what is region. In the region we have a zone and edge location. Edge location is not for kind of, you can say it's not running the software or something. It's going to go for what? Delivering the application to the customer in a very fast where the customers are worldwide, globally. So this way you maintain. So how many regions are there? You can see here one, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10. 30 regions are there. So this region is called what? Hyderabad. Or you can select what? Mumbai. And here there is a center called what? Singapore. And they have a center called what? Japan. I think you heard about the news about Japan. Japan is suffering because of earthquakes, and Japan is frequently will have what? Earthquakes, right? So, if this data center of Amazon is established in a location where the earthquake is common, definitely data center will be collapsed. So that's why they have multiple region. One data center is collapsed, you can access same data and application from other region also. Now you want to say what? China, and USA, UK, Africa region, India. Now these are the region sample I have said. So all region has to go to where they are connected to each other. They are connected to each other. So now you can see here. Now you have a edge location, and we got an idea about what is availability zone. In the data center in a region, you have a small container, or you have some small kind of work in a data center. You have to work. So same thing here. It's saying what. So whatever the work you have, are a customer. So it's having security. You have to be very careful with security. Again, I'm saying what. So now I want to say that all the regions are managed by what? Cloud computing engineer. They need to switch here and there, and you can just click of the specific region automatically. The infrastructure request goes to that specific region. Now I will go forward. As location for what? Caching or facility. If they want to give facility, room, and everything, laptops. So now the customer will have what? Now you can see that. Uh, you can say, not, I'm sorry for that. Now, region is what? 32. Every zone, every region you'll find minimum 3. Edge location you'll find caching facility. The performance can be improved by using what? Edge location. Shared responsibility. In a shared responsibility, basically what we do is Amazon want to say that we are into shared responsibility. Whatever the customers are taking, the server, storage, network, all are virtual. So the shared responsibility is that whatever you're taking tenant from the Amazon, so it will be responsible by customer and owner. How? Now, take example. You want to have what? You want to have a server or two server or five servers in your the machine of Amazon. Whenever I have given this kind of responsibility, the customer is having responsibility of what? Manage the resources of Amazon. And Amazon team is responsible for managing and how to go with it initializing in Amazon. And you have to understand what shared response. You can say that tenant owner. Amazon is the owner, tenant is our. Example, if I want to get subscription, if I want to use it, so I'm going to be act as a what? Tenant. That means now the tenant is responsible for their own infrastructure. Amazon has given a kind of facility that You can access your server and you can connect it and you can do any configuration, any software installation, setup, everything. You can do that. So Amazon has given this. Now I'll say that example. I have taken a flat and as a rental service, and now what I found that if something happened, I have brought some gold or money into the flat and it got lost. Who is responsible? A customer or an owner? What do you say? A tenant system, tenant and the owner. The building belong to the X person, and from them I want rent. I want to have that to be used this building as a rental. I have taken the rental building and I have brought something. I have kept my gold or money into my rented building, and this gold and rental, I'm finding that there is no gold, there is no money. I'm missing. It's theft. So who's responsible? Are there is owner is responsible for this accident incident? Owner is not responsible because of what? In tenant system, whatever you bring, it's your own duty. Your clothes and your furniture. If something is getting damaged, it's your own responsibility. But the drainage system, or you have a kind of plumbing system, what they have provided, electricity, this kind of thing, if having some issues, you're not going to take responsibility. The customer, that means the owner will take responsibility of the basic infrastructure. Is it clear? Same thing. Yeah, same thing. Amazon taking responsibility of the network infrastructure and underlying storage. Amazon will take responsibility. But the customer will take responsibility of what? The customer will take responsibility what they are bringing, the code, software code. They are keeping into that Amazon center and they are configuring some application. So they are responsible for the application. That means it's a shared responsibility. It's not belong responsible only one side. Both are responsible for a different kind of process. And now we have to understand what infrastructure types in industry. Remember, now this is worldwide infrastructure, as I said already. Same model they have replicated into world. Dubai, Bahrain, South Africa, Japan, you can say Canada, Central Canada, US, North Virginia, California, Oregon, and Australia. They have Sydney, right, Melbourne. So they have different location, different countries. India, Mumbai, and Hyderabad. So you have this. All are connected to each other. Now Amazon become more strong because they grow, and the network is widely available. So if one region also is off, there is no problem. Other region can work. Other region can serve the services. That's why Amazon has given what 99% of what a kind of assurance that our services are available for 99.99 percentage. Now I'm going to show you something what infrastructure types. Common infrastructure type the company uses what dev environment, testing environment, and production environment. Environment or infrastructure. That means developers are going to use now the developers are going to use this word infrastructure. Whenever they do coding, they want to run and they want to test whether the application is running or not. Now the server storage network I have to create create the infrastructure according to the developer requirement. This is going to work testing environment, or you can say it's going to work infrastructure. So now here also they have servers and storage and something here. Here also they have what server, storage, network. Now what I want to say that this infrastructure belong to developers and this infrastructure belong to what testing engineer. This testing engineer will have their own software which is installed, which is maintained in a separate infrastructure. It's called what? Testing infrastructure. Now, this infrastructure which is having the softwares of testing, so this software, this infrastructure is called what? Testing infrastructure. Once the developer finishes the work, it will pass the work to what? Testing engineers. Testing engineer perform functional and non-functional testing, and they'll pass to where? They'll pass to production environment. What mean by production? The infrastructure which is having what? Server, storage, network, everything, but not small quantity, is going to be what? Strong security. You have to maintain here, and you have to take machines with high speed, and these are the things like what it do. So that software, whatever is tested and developed, if it is green signal, it is working fine, then it's going to work on what? The software will run here on these servers, and this software is not for internal users. The software is basically for what? For end users, public users. Public users hit to the server and get the pages. So you have to understand the first stage is basically what? Developer. Second stage is going to work testing engineer. Third is going to be what? Testing environment, dev environment, and production environment. So now this infrastructure will be created separate with a separate software which is required for developer, tester, and production environment. We have to do. So now this is called what? Infrastructure types commonly used in companies. Dev infrastructure, testing infrastructure, and production infrastructure. Now you have created, I hope that you have created your account, everyone. Samuel, have you created? That's wonderful, wonderful. Just please communicate on a WhatsApp screenshot of your output. That means you have to say that I have created, I'm able to log in. After signing, you have to screenshot it, please. Okay, now we have to use what? We got an idea about what are the infrastructure type, what exactly your service model and deployment model, shared responsibility model, and now we are going to the word access and manage. After creating an account, if you want to log in, so how do you log in? Which services they are going to use? Amazon said that you can even log in through console or through what? CLI. If you don't have any GUI and if you have some kind of difficulties, you'll use what? CLI, command line interface. So nowadays, most demanded in a market is CLI, not console. Console means what? A kind of window where you just click, 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 everything works. But now, if it is 100 commands, 100 tasks given to you, and if you click for 100 and 1000 times, it's going to time waste for you. So, what technology says that believe in automation, So CLI is the best practice to be in a real time as per security and automation benefits. So what is console? Whenever you log into the window, your account, it says authentication failed. That maybe the password change is not my account. It's belong to someone account. I'll communicate later. They have changed the password. Now, after login that, you'll find a console, the dashboard, what you have seen. Infrastructure engineer or cloud engineer, you to work on these domains to become cloud architect engineer. What are the domains you have to work? Servers, storage, networking, security, automation. So these are the domains you have to work to become cloud engineer. Yet we have not started any kind of services of Amazon. We are just into basic foundation and we are understanding about the terminologies here. To understand, you need to work on these commands or domains to become a cloud architect engineer. Now, the terminology which is basically we have to understand is yes. Go ahead. Okay. Now, good question asked by Soumya here. Soumya basically a kind of like here asked the question that what is a cloud engineer and cloud architect engineer? When I say cloud engineer, the basically is a kind of you can say a kind of job which is basically like administration. You just follow some instruction and you do. But when I say architect engineer, who can understand the design, who can understand the security, who can understand the performance, who can draw the diagrams, and who can explain to the customer, and who can build on the guidance of the architecture design, the cloud engineer will work, cloud administrator will work. So designing and implementation part will be given by the cloud architect engineer to cloud engineer. Is it clear? Thank you. In a computer network terminology, I'm going to say about that network born. The network is a technology. A computer network is a kind of technology, and this technology comes in the market, and telephone industry got down. There's no STD, ISD, and some boxes like earlier. We used to have what? If you want to do some international calling, you'll have a separate services called STD, ISD, and something local. Nowadays, are you seeing in the market? No. Am I right? Hello. Especially Indians here. STD, ISD. We used to have some kind of local booth. Local booth. Now there is no local booth, right? And now next one is what we want to go for a kind of these things. Now I want to say that fax machines. If I want to send my document, certificates, or any CV or something earlier before internet or network, we cannot send the document. We have to use telephone, fax machine. Now the fax machines are in what? Dustbin. Why? Because of this technology. Which technology? Networking technology makes your telecom industry down. And now people are concentrating and they are purchasing, they are paying huge bills on internet connection. They are not paying the bills huge on telecom. Okay, we are using IP telephony. We are using 10 kind of what? Data connection. We are just using calling, communication, sharing with a very cheapest rate and very easy way. Sharing and communication become what very cheapest by this technology. And because of this technology, telecom industry goes down. Now, types of network boundary. Networking as a technology, I said, networking boundaries. That means the communication boundary. So intranet is the one. What do you mean by internet? Intranet. Intranet is a local area network. Example, I have a company like Dell, HP, IBM, Google, or something. I have 100 people or 1,000 people working in my company. So I have given laptops and desktop to use and to start their work. So when they are starting, they need to communicate. They need to share the data from each other. So collaboration is required when the company is working with a team. So now the network, you are going to build your own network within your building, within your premises, and it's a private network. You can communicate within a building. You cannot have access to internet. It's a free local connection. You can build your own connection in your own office, home, or you have a kind of like here specific location in a specific building. So that is called what? It's a private network without internet and bonded to the building or office. Communication is free. You do your setup. You purchase the Wi-Fi router from market. Example, you purchase a Wi-Fi router in the market. I'll see here infrastructure, AWS basic infrastructure types. Now you can see that you purchase Wi-Fi router from the market here. You have a Wi-Fi router here, and you have a systems. You can see here you have mobile devices, systems. They are running. So how they are connecting to this system? It's very setup. It's simple setup. You have a Wi-Fi to your all this kind of system, wireless. So automatically these signals, that is radio frequency signal, connect to each machine. If it's a laptop or desktop, I want to make a what wireless connection, and only just purchase and plug and play. Your systems are ready to use it. All system will get network connection. System A can communicate to system B or C or any system they can connect within this network. Wi-Fi router makes a single network that is called local network. If you want to communicate now, if you want to communicate this network, if you want to communicate this network, now you can see here. If you want to communicate other network in different area, imagine this is going to be about India. We have a branch and we have set up our own network, and this is going to what USA, and this is going to what London. Now the branches are worldwide and they want to communicate. Can they communicate with this local network? No, there is no connection from US to London, London to US or India. There is no connection. They can communicate within this network. That is called what? A local network. Now, if I want to connect one branch to other branch worldwide as a private, if I want to connect, so I have to take the help of what? ISP, Internet Service Provider. Internet Service Provider. I'll say to my Internet Service Provider in India, I want a connection. Which connection? I want lease line. Remember this point. And here also in US also I'll take use lease line. And here in London also I'll take what? Lease line. So when I take the lease line worldwide, now all the branches can communicate through these private lines which is maintained by the ISP. So whenever interviewer asks you what is lease line, if I want to communicate branch wise branches, like only branches, a private communication globally, if I want to communicate globally only to my branches and I don't want to allow any unauthorized person into this my network. So what type of network you're going to go forward? It's called extranet. This is called intranet. This second intranet. Internet. So this all combination, when you interconnect to each other, that communication, private communication globally is called extranet. And now, if you want that, this all branches, you want that all the branches should have what? Internet connection. Should have what? Internet connection. If I want to do this, if I want to do this, so let's see here. I need to take I need to take a help of what? I need to put a connection. I need to pay the connection. I need to take the connection, like connect the connection. So for this network, I want to take internet connection. For this network, I need internet connection. For this network, I need internet connection. If I join this internet connection, that means I have globally connected as a public user. Remember this point. And it's vulnerable. Vulnerable means what? Weak connection. That means anyone can hack. If you're connecting to the internet here, internet, so your all the network branches become vulnerable. So that's why every company required what? Firewalls. What they required? Firewalls here, firewalls here, and firewalls here. Whenever you take internet connection, you're not going to attach directly to your network. You directly attach to the firewall, which can protect, which can defend from unauthorized access. So you got idea about what is intranet, what is extranet, what is internet, public user, public network communication, and you got idea that it is recommended, highly recommended, your company should not connect internet directly to your Wi-Fi router or network switch. It has to connect to the firewalls. Go ahead. Okay. 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 This MPLS is basically, when I say lease line, is called MPLS line. Technically, we call as what? MPLS. And in normal language, I said what? Lease line. The MPLS lines are basically what? A kind of connection which which is very costly. You have to contact your ISP, you have to take a connection for making an branch to branch communication worldwide. A private connection that's very costly. Internet is a cheapest connection, 300 or 400 rupees, then you can get internet connection for a month, unlimited. But it's vulnerable. You can access the data, you can transfer the data, but it's not guaranteed because it's a public line. But worldwide, you can communicate in the cheapest way. But if you want to do these internet services for some other purpose, contacting the vendors or updating the softwares, you need internet connection. So internet connection should be connected to firewall. It should not be directly connected to any devices to have a security. Yeah, please. Is it clear? Thank you. Fine. MPLS lease line is same name. I'm saying that MPLS is a kind of types of connection. It's not an internet connection. It's not a intranet connection. It's a connection which is basically we call a kind of a private connection to communicate worldwide privately to your branches. Example, a branches, multinational company having branches in worldwide, and they want to communicate. Example, Axis Bank or Citibank, HDFC Bank. You have any bank system, and they are into worldwide or they are into national wide. And if the bank want to communicate, a bank want to communicate bank two, same organization, but branches are multiple. So if they are using internet, it's going to be vulnerable, security risk. So they'll not go for this. So what type of connection they are going to use? They're going to use MPLS lines. Is it clear? Thank you. So now you got idea that how your infrastructure is built. I said intranet, then I said extranet, how the extranet is communicated, is a free or paid. This extranet is a paid connection, right? As I said, only internet is a free. Is a paid connection is very costly. And intranet internal communication you do free. And internet is going to what we can say cheapest, but not secure. It's very important whenever you connect internet, you have to concern about security system. That's why I recommend that we recommend that to connect internet on the firewall is going to be best protected. So we got to understand when to use firewall, what is internet. So all the things we got in this one class, types of intranet and extranet. And now as a cloud engineer on AWS platform, you're responsible for what? Designing, implement intranet virtual data center for customers. You need to design a network. As I said, we have to work on 5 domains to become cloud engineer: computing, storage, networking, security, automation. So you have to have good knowledge. That's why I'm giving idea about intranet, extranet, internet, how people work. To do communication within the network system, you should have what? IP address. As we have a telecom mobile communication, if I have iPhone, the costly phone, if I have any Android phone, and I purchase a new, I don't have a number. So can I communicate it? No. Without mobile number, registered number, you cannot use the phone. It's a useless. So you need a registered number. Same thing. If you have all the connection, wired or wireless, everything, machines are connected, but there is no IP address. That means you cannot connect the machines. IP address is compulsory for communication. So what is IP address? Is a logical identity number of computer, and it is expressed in decimal dotted system. Whenever you see this type of number, dot dot dot, four dots, right? So that means here you say separate section 192 dot 168 dot 1 dot something. Whatever the numbers, if you find the four section numbers, basically it's called what? IP address. And without IP address, the system cannot communicate. Can I communicate computer network without IP address? No. And every device should have what? Unique IP address. As we have a telephone industry, same concept. My number is 9849831370, and your number should not be same what I have. You should have your own unique number. If I have same number to both you, that means the communication cannot be created. The rules of communication. Same thing in IP address also. You should have. So what communication protocol we use in the network? Linux or Windows or Android, Mac operating system, whatever you use. How do you communicate? What software is basically supporting to have a communication? Do I need to install a software? No. Every operating system will have a software called TCP/IP, Transmission Control Protocol, Internet Protocol. This software is built in Android, Mac operating system, Linux, Windows, ready to use. That means only assign the IP address and then use the computers. That's it. You can build your own network also in your office, in your company. You can build your own network very fast. Maybe like it's going to take wireless is going to be for making connection for 10 or 20 computers is going to have what 30 minutes. But if you go for wiring Wired connection is going to take what? It maybe is going to take 1 day or 2 days. So now we can realize in Amazon cloud, when you're working with a network, there is no physical items. Everything is virtual. So a network, imagine how much time it takes to create a network. You know that is going to be 5 minutes or 10 minutes. The hours job you can do in minutes. That's the beauty of cloud computing. So we are learning this terminology before going to the cloud computing. We have not started till now cloud computing. We are just learning about the terminology, right? Network terminology here. So IP version 4 and IP version 6. There are two versions of software, but mostly in the internal communication, company use IP version 4. But few companies use IP version 6, which is advanced. The numbering system will be hexadecimal, expressed in what? That means alphabets, numbers with a colon separated by colon. Here it is separated by dots. You can easily understand that IP version 6 or IP version 4. So now you have to understand the numbers basically 0 to 255. That means in telecom industry also the number should be from 0 to 9. 0 to 9. You cannot have all zeros, and it's not decimal, it's a regular number. But in computers, networking, communication, you have a decimal dot system. So you have 0 to 255. Suppose if my friend says that 393.9.9.90 is a valid number or invalid, I'm asking a question to you. Because of what? I found 393, but yes, he's saying that the networking valid numbers is between 0 to 255. It cannot go beyond. So that's you have to remember. A valid and invalid to evaluate. You have to remember this point. And here, if I say 33.888, any number is not contradicting to this range. So that's why I'll say what is a valid number, valid IP address. But now, what you have to understand before going to MAC address I'll explain you. The interviewer can ask you what is the difference between MAC address and IP address. So in the mobile, you know that one number. If you lost your mobile, how the police cybersecurity track your number? Someone has theft your mobile and they change the SIM. Still, cybersecurity can track. How? Anyone can say that? How location access? Which location? Thousands and millions of users are using that lot of telecom like numbers, right? They change the number. How can I know that this phone is belong to you? I am a number. I am a number, right? Right. You watch CID serials, CID suspense movies, cybersecurity movies. Oh, huh? Okay, okay. Have you got it? Have you got not? Okay. When it was happened in the month of August. Oh, so not recovered till now. Which area? Which location? Which state? Oh, so fine. Give. Have you registered that complaint? Okay, okay. You have got acknowledgement from the department. Oh, it's a fault. Maybe they're ignoring because it can be very easily tracked. Okay, now no problem. What I'll just give your number, your details, your kind of device, invoice. I'll try to make up. Okay, fine. So now what I want to say that IME number is a unique number for each mobile device, which is assigned by the vendors. If I purchase from Samsung, it's going to be a number, separate number for every device. They'll maintain some number. That's called IME number, right? So now, basically, whenever a like stolen mobile taken by someone, he knows the technical idea. They'll do what? they'll do a kind of flashing. Flashing is a technique which can erase your IME number also. You know that? They can change IME number. So now, earlier it was common into my in Hyderabad city also, but now it's banned. No mobile service center cannot do flashing. Earlier it was common, but now it's not. It's a restricted kind of thing. Fine. So IP number in computers also we have a MAC address. MAC address. Whenever you purchase a laptop, every laptop and desktop will have their own hardware address. If my laptop lost, if I registered with the invoice and registered number, so anyone using from any corner, it can be tracked easily by cyber security with the help of MAC address, because IP address can get changed, but MAC address remains same. Is it clear? That is, MAC address is what? Physical address of a machine, which can be changed, which cannot be changed. But IP address you can change your own. You can customize. The IP address assigned by the user, and MAC address assigned by the vendors. Is it clear now? So interviewer can ask you about what is IP address, what is MAC address. You have to say MAC address is a physical address which is unique when assigned by the vendor, which cannot be changed. But IP address can be changed, which is assigned by the user. IP address for communication. Now, types of IP address. What are the types of IP address they have given? Public IP and private IP. Now, initially when the network in I can say 1990s, where you find internet is becoming common. So when they like before that 1990, 80, they have started research, and people are communicating within only building or premises. They were not able to find that global communication, but later 1990s it become common, and they are able to communicate. So what they have said, the internal communication can be done with some sort of range of IP address, which is reserved, which is free. There is no charge for that. You just assign the numbers and you use internal communication. There is no problem. But if you want to connect globally, if you want to communicate global communication to worldwide, you need to purchase IP address from the ISP, Internet Service Provider, local ISP. Example, in my area, I have an Act Fiber, or I have some kind of Reliance Geo, the company who provide internet service to me. So in West Africa, which ISP is there, Samuel, who provide internet connection? How many providers are there? Okay. Number one, yes, AfriCell is a, okay. Next, NetPage is a ISP, I think. Your QCell and your AfriCell is a telecom industry, right? They're not providing. NetPage, yeah, yeah. NetPage, I know that. NetPage, I'm very close to that peoples in Africa, like NetPage. So they are the ISP who brought something fiber lines, fiber optic lines in the Africa, right? West Africa. But AfriCell and these other people, telecom industry, right? They are telecom industry. Okay. Now the telecom minister is going to be Usman Bar, right? Okay, fine. Now, so we got an idea that the ISP who provide internet connection, a private IP and a public IP, right? Public IP is a kind of paid connection. Whenever you take internet connection, automatically IP is assigned to that system, your device, mobile device. So you're paying the rental, monthly rental, because of what? This IP. And the private IP is what? Free. What are the IP numbers we have to use for local communication? That is, they have given some numbers. They said 10 seconds. If you see any number which start with 10, it's a private IP. When you see any number which start with 172 and second section is going to be 16 to 31, that is private IP. 192.168, any number start with these two section 192.168, These are private IP. If I want to create my own network in my area, example in my building, so I'll go forward these numbers. So I'm saying intranet, extranet. Now you have the machine here. You can see that it's very simple now. Networking. If you want to have 3 4 machines or 100 machines, no problem. So what do? You purchase a Wi-Fi router or you purchase a kind of physical switch, a network switch, and it's a kind of like network switch we used to do earlier before cloud computing. Now everything is virtual. There is no physical, and I have to tie up with what? A cable. When I tie up with the cable to my systems, it's a physical connection done, but you have to assign what? IP address. So what IP address you take? You can take any number which is basically what? Private range 1. And the second machine, if I go, I'll say 2. I have to change the last number. I have to say 3, 4. Whatever the number you put, but the last number should change, should be unique. So in this way, you can go on. You can assign all the machine. Once you assign, then this machine can communicate to each other. I can share the files. If I have a printer, I have a printer for network, for all. What I'll do is this network also connected to switch. So this all 3 machines can communicate to this printer if the printer having the IP address. If the printer does not have IP address, they cannot communicate. If I do print here, automatically it will go. If I print here, it will go. That means understand that IP address should be what? Unique. And you have to use any numbers for a private communication. What is public number, public IP address? Except this range, all are public. Now I will just ask the question. So anyone can say that is a private or public? It's a public. How can you say private? It's a public IP. Why? It is not matching with this range. It is not started with 10. It is not started with 172. It is not started with 192. So other than this, numbers are public IP address. So you have to identify which is private, which is public. Acha, 172.14 on 9.19 is it public or private? Please, can you just say that? Yes, it's a public. How do you say, Samuel? What's the reason you say public? Sorry, wait a minute. 14. Oh, because the INA people, like here, the internet company, that means IANA, is a US based organization, American registered company. So they have said this range it should be what? Private. But when I use different range, 14, it is not matching with the range. Definitely is a public. Thank you. I appreciate that knowledge. Your understanding. Well, now next. This number, I want to see that. It's a private or public? Anyone? Invalid. Why is it invalid? Yeah, it is not. It is started with 300. 300. Yes. Yes. Okay. It is not a valid range. It should be 0 to 255. So it is starting with this. That's why I said invalid. It's not a private and public. So in interview, they definitely ask what is private, what is public. And for the cloud computing, before you go to the cloud computing practical, you should know basic about intranet, extranet, firewall. You should know about that private IP, public IP, right? You should recognize easily. Fine. What is this? Is it private or public? Wrong. It's wrong. Wrong. It's not valid because of what? The fourth section should have 0 to 255 in between. So this basically this number is okay, but here the 300. So you have to watch properly, right? And this number is a public or private? Yes, 192 168. Two octets you have to understand. Two section that is called two octets. Yes. Which service are used to create network or intranet in AWS? In AWS, if I want to create a network, so I'm asking to Amazon. Amazon saying what? Yes, we have a service name called VPC, Virtual Private Cloud. Amazon saying that we have a service called Virtual Private Cloud where you can manage, you can create and manage intranet, local network over the cloud. So how to use it, we'll see later into the cloud technology. But only to give an idea that we have done something networking concept, that's why I've given. Now, and it's very important. It's become very easy in cloud. You do not need to worry about assigning the numbers. It's automatically assigned by the cloud itself. But you should have a knowledge what is private, what is public, how it's communicate. Without IP, they cannot communicate, right? If you have a public IP, that means you can communicate worldwide. If you don't have a public IP, you cannot communicate worldwide. If you have private IP, you can communicate internal machines. You should understand this concept. That's why we are giving this knowledge to you. IP mode. What is IP mode? IP address we understood. Now IP address can be elastic. IP address can be dynamic. What do you mean by elastic? That means the IP address which remain same, which will not change. It is going to be static. So basically, we use in companies for servers, for my CCTV cameras. I want that my CCTV camera should be watched or monitor globally wherever I am. I want to connect. So I can use what? Elastic IP address. I can connect easily my camera and I can watch, I can monitor it. And if I have a server in a company and which is used by multiple computers, example, a Flipkart or Amazon website or web server which is running in the application, Amazon application, and millions of people are users are connecting to Amazon. So millions of people are connecting to Amazon. So this user need what? The IP address should be unique for that particular Amazon. It should not get changed. Or my internal machines having some internal computers, intranet, one printer, and 100 people are connecting and using that printer whenever they require printing service. So the printer server should have unique IP address, the static IP address. If the IP address get changed every day, every restart, so definitely again every 100 users should know the IP address. So that's why we go for elastic IP. Elastic IP is going to be costly. Whenever you purchase, whenever you take internet connection at your home, you're getting what? Dynamic IP, public dynamic IP. That means when you restart, you'll get IP address change. Example, I have internet connection. Let's see what is my IP address. So when I say, what is my IP address? I'm getting here. I got this IP address version 6 and version 4 and says that 49.43 and 234.239. This is my IP address. And which location, which provider? Reliance Geo. This is an ISP which is basically providing the connection. I have taken the IP address. And this which city, which country, which state, everything we can have this information from this website. Okay. So now if I, yeah, no, it's my route. That means I got a connection cable from the ISP to my router, Wi-Fi router, and the Wi-Fi router will have what? Only one IP address. And the Wi-Fi router is sharing the connection, single internet connection to multiple devices, mobile, computers, laptops in my home or office. So I'm getting that internet connection indirectly, which is shared by your Wi-Fi router. Is it clear? If I Yes, I'll show that. That is called NAT concept. I'm coming to the point. No worries, right? I'm coming to the point. Which is private, why it's public, and how can we access with having private IP address. I'll explain you. So now, this tomorrow if I see, I'll get different numbers because it's a dynamic IP. But if I want to have my laptop should be accessed by everyone, I want to make this laptop as a gaming server. So worldwide, everyone should access my gaming application. I want to generate the users. I want to give access to everyone. So now if I want to make a gaming server, I'll use what? Static public IP address. It's going to be costlier than dynamic. Okay? You understand static and dynamic reason? Fine. When to use, we got understanding. The firewall. What is firewall? It's a kind of security device to protect inbound and outbound user traffic. That means unauthorized users can be protected. That means can be blocked by the firewall. Firewall is compulsory in every company. I have given a diagram just now. A firewall is a device. It's going to be two. That means 500,000. The cost will be the 500,000. You have to invest on that. And the firewall is compulsory, or else your network, your company network, will be in danger, vulnerable. It can be compromised. So you have to understand the security breach. The people can crack, can break your security, and they can enter in your network. It's very important to maintain the firewall device. Nowadays, it's very common. Security become high priority in the market right now, right? So now firewall protect what? DDoS attacks. There's an attack by the hacker is called DDoS, distributed denial of service. Denial of service, worm virus or application attacks. That is your going to be, you can say, SQL injections. So these kind of attacks can be protected. Unauthorized access can be protected at the level of what? Firewall, network firewall. AWS offers virtual firewall called what? Security group. AWS firewall, NSCL, WAF, Shield. Now the question is what? Earlier we used to have physical firewalls. Now in the cloud, do we have any virtual firewall also? Same firewall what I maintain in a company? Yes. Amazon saying same thing. You will find as a virtual service. And the security group, AWS firewall, NSCL, WAF, web application firewall, Shield. These are the firewalls offered by Amazon to protect your network level and host level protection. We'll talk later more onto that, but only to have an idea that Amazon also providing the firewall services to protect your network and data. What do you mean by VPN? Do you know that? Anyone knows about VPN? What does it mean? Why we use this? Why do I require encryption? Example: this is my network, right? Internal network. Do I need to have VPN internal? One machine want to connect another machine. Do I need VPN connection? Why? Why? Okay. Because if I do not internet, if I not connected to internet, if I connect internet connection, example, as your definition, now, if I connected to internet now I required VPN. I'm saying this diagram, internal communication, right? Now, I'll give example. It's very important now. Now, the example is that number one is what? Work from home. Now, after the pandemic, and in pandemic also, Most of the company started a concept called work from home. They allow their employees to work from home, no need to come home, right? No need to come office. So when they allowed this, the risk security is for them. Why? If you are connecting through internet, they're saying that you can connect to the office network through internet. And if they say that through internet they can connect, so it's going to be vulnerable. That means internet is a public network and it is not secure. It's an open network. So if I pass username password of my company application or database, so it's going to be compromised. My network can be in danger. So what I need, the company will say that do not connect directly through internet. We have an option called lease line or VPN. Lease line is going to be MPLS line is going to be very costly for you. 20,000 per month. It's not easy. But for 100 employees, if I have 100 employees in my company or 1,000 employees in my company, if they want to connect, so I'll recommend what? A alternative of lease line is called VPN. It makes a virtual connection, or you can say virtual lease line, which is very cheaper and it's going to be secure also. It's going to create with this physical network, under this physical network, it will create what? One more network, a virtual network will be created. And the company will maintain a kind of firewall device or a kind of VPN device. You can say firewall basically. So in that we say VPN server. So all the request goes to VPN server. Then VPN will create a virtual connection in the physical internet connection. So data will be encrypted and can send the data over internet, over kind of virtual connection tunnel, so it can be protected from public users. That means this internal communication, that is virtual connection which is created by a VPN, will be encrypted. Encrypted means cover up, right? It covered up with a shield, and that other public user cannot access, cannot see the data easily. So that's why it is very important that you have to create first VPN connection. Then you can go ahead with this. So this is a way you go for VPN, or if you have a remote user employee who want to connect from different location, VPN is a virtual connection. It's not a physical connection. You're not going to purchase from anyone. You're not going to take some anyone here. You're going to for company. I'm just giving one example. It's a virtual connection over internet because I don't want to transfer my username, password, or important confidential data of company through internet because it's not secure. Public is a public network. Anyone can access my data. So now, how to connect to my company? How to work from home in a secure manner? How to connect internal servers in a secure manner? The company will say that use VPN connection. Use first try to establish a connection to the VPN my VPN server. Once you have established a connection, a virtual tunnel, you can see that a green line or red line here in between. This is your virtual tunnel, virtual connection created by VPN server in a company. So now the data will be sent under this virtual connection hiddenly, protected way. So now when the data is sent, the public users, other user cannot see easily that connection, username, password, or private confidential data, they cannot access it. So that's why it is recommended to have what? VPN connection, virtual private network. Done? Uh-huh. Go ahead. Okay, you want to say that in internet, right? Without VPN. Okay, in the VPN, like whenever you have internet connection, What is internet connection? Is a public network, worldwide, global communication. In a China or Japan, someone is sitting, they can access your server. They can reach to your server because they all are connected to a global network, right? A global network for global communication. So they can reach easily to your computer and they can try to hack your computer. They can come to that particular point, right? One thing. Your question is again, can you just say again question? Whatever you do the transmission, yeah. Whenever you transmit the data, so please go ahead. Yes. Now, whenever you're using internet, I'm saying that again, whenever you're transferring the data from the computer, that means data is going out. When you do the encryption at your rest level, rest means on your system level it will be encrypted, but when you send, it will be decrypted. It is going to be in a plane, right? But if you do the encryption that goes into the public network, someone uh, can feel that yes, is a data which is encrypted. We can try, but when you make a connection, a virtual connection, and it's a pipe, a virtual pipe, under that you're sending the encrypted data. It is not open. You're covering and sending that encrypted data, so it's going to be more secure, and the connection will goes to that particular point to point. That means to your company to your machine. To make a point-to-point communication, you require this kind of VPN connection with the security. Is it clear? Sorry, who is the center? Center means? Okay, that's a different story. That means that's a different story. That means VPN is going to be a private VPN. The VPN can be a public VPN. Example, you got some internet restriction in your country, right? In your country, you got what restriction internet? You got restriction on it internet. That means you cannot browse a Facebook or you cannot play a game, your favorite game, which is belong to China. So now the China and India having a bad relation. So they block, they banned that game. But you're very like you want to use that game or you want to access some application which is blocked by the Indian ISPs, Indian government. So now whenever you type anything, it goes to your ISP. ISP take the request and it will block the connection. It will say you cannot access, access denied. It is like it is banned. Now you cannot use that particular website. You cannot browse it. So what I'll do is in Russia there is a kind of VPN. It's a paid VPN, public VPN. And they're saying that you can you can have a connection to this, right? Public VPN. And they said you pay the money and you take the connection. So I say what? I'm paying the money. I'm going to here to what? The VPN, Russian VPN. So there is no restriction. The government has not given a restriction to this access to this website or this company. They restricted to game or application. So I went here. So from here, when I establish the connection, they'll create what? A virtual tunnel. And now here, whatever I'm tapping the website, YouTube example. I'm saying youtube.com example is banned in India. So what happened now? When I type YouTube here, it goes to this tunnel. The request go to the Russian uh, server, and the Russian server will get the page from their ISP. What is that? From their ISP. That means you're requesting not to your ISP. You're requesting to Russian VPN, and from there the request goes to Russian ISP. There is no restriction on YouTube, and they'll give a page website through this tunnel again, right? And they'll hide the particular IP address and everything. So this ISP this ISP will not get easily have track of what this IP address. You want to say this scenario? So it is what private VPN. It's a company VPN, corporate VPN server, which is not accessible for everyone, only for authorized person. This VPN is on sale. It's a public VPN. I can purchase. I can use it. Is it clear? This way they go. So only understand that VPN is a kind of connection. We are talking about this kind of VPN in a real time. You're going to have this kind of VPN. So VPN is basically what a kind of VPN is a kind of like technology which allow you to access a private network or private resource of the company over internet. Internet is vulnerable, but even though to reduce the cost and to make security, you're using a kind of VPN encryption kind of connection, virtual connection, so the data and the username password confidential information can be passed safely from client machine, the employee machine to the company machine. Is it clear, everyone? Thank you. Now we're gonna read about VPN and the definition you should know. These are the definition, all those things, technology, how network devices, firewall, VPN, and IP address, how this work, and all those things you should know. And finally, I'll just conclude my session with NAT. What is NAT? It's a networking term, again networking technology. Network address translator is a kind of technology of network which allowing what to share single internet connection to what multiple devices. Now you can see here I have got internet connection. So I have got internet connection. I have a wireless router here at my home. Okay. So whenever I'm taking internet connection from the ISP, the connection coming toward my Wi-Fi router. From there, all the devices, mobile, laptop, desktop, getting wireless connect example. So now, what exactly is doing is a kind of mediator device between internet provider and the internal servers or internal devices, router like your mobile or laptop, desktop. So we are paying for only one connection. We are taking internet one connection. We are paying, but how many people are using? 10, 20, 100 people are using. So this technology says that you can save the cost of IP address, the connection, internet connection, and you can protect internal servers also, internal machines. How? These machines are not directly connected to this internet. They are getting the internet through Wi-Fi router. So Wi-Fi router is acting as a NAT gateway, NAT device. You understand that technically Wi-Fi router is calling us what? NAT device. Now default gateway is a different story, but technically we say what? NAT. Okay, but we are talking about NAT now. So NAT is a kind of technology which is built in, the software is built into the Wi-Fi router. So what exactly is doing? Internet sharing. Now this machine, whenever I type from my mobile youtube.com, so this request is goes to where? Up to the Wi-Fi router. And Wi-Fi router will do what? Wi-Fi router Wi-Fi router request goes to the that means Wi-Fi router is getting requests, and now Wi-Fi router will say that please stay, hold it. I'll go, I'll bring the internet for you. I'll give a YouTube page for you. So who is going outside? Wi-Fi router NAT is going outside, and NAT is receiving the request and holding you and going out and taking the like bringing the website YouTube. So in this way, we are able to have internet pages indirectly without public IP. These all machines are working on what? Private IP address. So this private IP machine, even though they are getting internet connection because of NAT device. So this internal machine even getting protected also. Security. Because this information, this machine information will not go outside. Because the Wi-Fi router is not allowing to go outside. They're saying that what do you want YouTube? Please hold on. I'll bring your page outside. They'll going the NAT software is going outside requesting to the ISP, then it's getting that page and it's passing to you this way. Is it clear now? How the NAT gateway is working? Every technology having their own functionality. Firewall have separate functionality. VPN having the different perspective, use case. Every devices and technology having different use case. So in a business, VPN, firewall, NAT is compulsory. You cannot imagine a business without VPN, without NAT, without firewall. Remember this point. Firewall, NAT, and your you can say that your VPN is common for every company, small to big company. You'll find this. That's why we are learning what is the use, why people are using, why the business is using. That's why we are learning this. In Amazon, is there a service of NAT? Yes. Amazon says we have a virtual NAT gateway where you can utilize in a very quick way. So done. So I'm just stopping here. It's going to be our second class to have understanding about the fundamental of cloud and as well as the network terminologies, how the network works, how the company is utilizing NAT, VPN, or you find the particular firewall, why we require a firewall, what is the purpose of it, what is IP address, dynamic, static, elastic IP address. So we got understanding about this. Any question for me now before concluding the session? Anyone? I got only one no. Okay, everyone should communicate, please. Which one? NAT gateway is a network address translator. Please unmute your mic. Mute your mic. Mute your mic. Samia, you said NAT gateway. NAT. Do you have a Wi-Fi router at home? Samia, can you say that? Do you have Wi-Fi router at home? Okay. You're paying internet connection bill. How many users are using? How many users are using internet connection at home? How many devices? Your mobile devices. How many people are three mobiles? Three people are using, right? You're paying how many people? You're paying how many internet connection payment? One. How it's possible? Yeah, three people are using, but three users are using, but only what? You're paying only one bill. So because of the NAT technology, which is built in your Wi-Fi router, that's why NAT is basically a technology which share single internet connection to multiple devices, multiple private devices. Is it clear? So every company having internet connection or not for employees? So are they using NAT technology or not? Yes. You say Cognizant, you say Microsoft, you say Google, you say Amazon, you say TCS, any company go, small company XYZ, you find NAT is available in every company. Is it clear? NAT and VPN is a part of your firewall. Basically, the company will maintain everything into the firewall. Yes, please go ahead, Rishabh. Mirza. Sorry? Default gateway is a different thing. Default gateway, Mirza, is not basically a gateway. Default gateway is basically what? Default gateway IP. That means it's a mediator device which is between requester and the destination machine, origin and destination machine. That is called default gateway. But default gateway only passing, but it's not natting. If it is natting is there, then the gateway will come. Gateway is nothing but only address, a machine or device, a software between two communicator. That is basically what? Default gateway. Is it clear? Thank you. So fine. So thank you for joining all. Like here I got even here I got Samya and Hassan Beg and I got Sunny Oddin here. I think Zia, right? Please change the name properly. Rishabh, Sunny, Muhammad Sunny Oddin. I need your name to be changed whenever you connect. Rishabh, Rishabh is here. Samuel and Emmanuel. So, where is Zoha here? Okay, okay. Now, thank you. Yeah, please. De- Definitely, but I want pen paper should be ready, and you have to work actively, right? One. And second, I'll give a notes also for this. There's no problem. Whatever I have explained just now, same notes I will provide you. There's no worries. But be ready with this note. That means you have to make a point, at least key points. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Good night. Take care. Bye bye. See you tomorrow. Uh huh. Tomorrow there's a workshop on Linux, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. morning Indian Standard, Samuel. So if you want to attend offline, online, you can attend, but it is highly recommended. Locals students should attend offline. It's a kind of certificate-based workshop on Linux. There's a 2 hours class Saturday, 2 hours class on Sunday. Is it clear? Every Saturday, you'll find a mock interview morning. There is no class on Saturday. As I said earlier, the 5 days classes, 6 day will be mock interview, but his mock interview will be conducted morning only. But today, tomorrow, we are not conducting the mock interview. We have replaced with what? Workshop. So those who want to attend the Linux, they want to revise, they want to have good stand on Linux, attend the Linux classes. And you can invite your friends, your brothers. It's a free of cost workshop. There is no charge. 4 hours class, 4 to 5 hours class, you can attend it, right? Online, if someone is very far. Workshop is only 2 days, right? One day, 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, 9 to 11. Okay, everyone. Yes, yes, Samuel, like you can go ahead with your online. If it's okay, 9, I think it's not suitable for your timing is matching, Samuel. Indian time, 9 a.m. 9 a.m. Please check out, huh? Please. Thank you. Take care.